Manchester Christian Church first started as a storefront mission on Elm Street in 1961. By 1985, they had started a building program on the Wellington Road site. There was a turn outward of the church. The church had grown to about 300, 350, but then decided the fields were white to harvest, decided to be a little more accessible to the person outside the walls of the church, and found that many hundreds of people were very interested in showing up to listen to a message that scratched where they itch. So after 30 years of serving as our pastor at Manchester Christian Church, Frank decided that he had reached the level of his effectiveness and contributed what he could to the church, and decided to step aside so that new leadership could come and take the church on to the next level. Normally what happens when you have a well-loved senior pastor of 30 years and you bring in a replacement or somebody new, and they basically chew him up and spit him out. Well, in our situation, it didn't work like that at all. So you have these things where you have people, very different styles, a big transition in leadership, and instead of the usual story of everything kind of exploding and ripping apart and church going down and then having to rebuild, you had the church take off.
You know, the very first time I preached, I talked about praying for one. And I just invited the church to pray a simple prayer: God, please give me one person to share your love with. And it was really neat. You know, I just said, if you'll do that, the church will double. That rapid growth was really exciting. It was also kind of crazy. But celebrating that and being able to say it's because we're praying for one, you know, and that God is using His church, the people, to share this incredible journey. Those early months were just, they were a crazy ride for sure.
I was on staff for about 5 years with Bedford Community Church when the church came to what was a difficult crossroads. I can remember with great clarity the moment that I heard that Manchester Christian Church and Bedford Community Church were considering a merger. And in that moment, my heart literally spoke through my lips. And I said, then there's hope. There's hope that what God ordained for this church, His church, would continue for this town, for this state, and for this region. It wasn't without difficulty, but the blending of families is rarely ever easy. It did have its sorrows, but it was met with great joys. And what I know for certain is that no man can lay hand to the miracle that brought these two entities together, these two churches together, these two families together. And the hope that continues is it'll be for His glory and for our good.
And so I want to encourage our church, and I want us to encourage one another. And let's do everything that God's called us to do.